mean, the company is just so generous. They're doing everything possible. I mean, they're just pulling all the stops out. They want us to succeed. They want us to realize our dreams. You know, it's so clear. And, you know, because the company is really slimming down in many ways, you know, not having these big events, they can use that money and give it directly to us. So, I mean, that's kind of the strategy right now, and try to figure out everything online. I think so. There's sort of been a philosophical shift within the company to move the money to us, to distributors, to the people actually doing the work. And they want us to really succeed and be successful. So, you know, it's kind of an exciting time to be in Alfei. And I know some of you new people don't know the history, but you know, it's been a very interesting ride here, hasn't it? Of late.
Very good. All right, Tom, we'll get to you in a few minutes. I want to ask also, has anybody had any breakthroughs, wins and realizations in the last week? I know we're all working hard on personal growth as well as business growth. And has there been any wins or realizations?
I think for myself, I had been putting pretty much all of my effort into building my team. And I realized that that's still a very important thing for me to do. But what I was totally overlooking was the customer aspect. And until this PSD mania came to be, and until I really understood how it could focus on the customer more so in the beginning anyway, because we really want to see those bigger initial investments as our percentages increase for the cash bonus, but just kind of getting those customers, those frequent buyers or something to build our, I don't know, it just kind of gives momentum to my desire to keep going at it, because when there's nobody coming on either as a distributor or a customer, it just feels a little dead. And even if it's a customer, and even if it's a box of coffee, it's somebody else trying the products. It's somebody else that can say, wow, these things are really good. And that's what we need, is more people trying the product.
That's great, Corinne. Yeah, I think that I've noticed that for myself too. If you're feeling everything is kind of slow and sluggish with the distributors, sell product to customers, because that gets you back in the groove again. And I just find it incredibly easy to sell the product. So that gets customers, that gets conversation. Then you can tap into those people's Rolodex. Who do they know? Mm-hmm. This customer has a great experience on the product. Who do they know who may want to try the product or who may be looking for a business opportunity? Awesome. That's a great win. Anybody hit a P3 or a 10C? Anybody in your group? Nobody? Okay.
Not recently. I have a little follow-up to what Corinne just said about customers. So I come from the world of birth and supporting women in labor. And so I was on-call birth doula, which meant that I didn't know when I was going to leave the house to go to work. But I always, consistently, I did over 50 births, and I always got this feeling, like within 48 to 24 hours, like, oh, they're going to have their baby. And it was just this like full-on excitement. And I realized last night when I was signing on a new distributor, when I have a new distributor or a new customer, I get that same, it's almost the same feeling. It's just like, I get so excited that they're going to put the product in their body. It's just this total rush. And so I love that you brought that back, Corinne, because that to me is so exciting. Every time someone puts the product in their body, or I anticipate them putting it in their body, I get so excited. It's like, another one's getting Lingji.
Awesome.
So yeah, total momentum builder to get the product inside people.
Good. That's a good piece of advice. Anybody have any special event coming up or anything they want to add about PBRs, special events? I know I'm getting myself ready for a really big show here in Jersey. It's a holistic fair that comes around every year. And my whole group's going to be there. I'm really excited. We're getting a tent and everything. So it's exciting. I think it's a great way to train new people. If you don't know how to talk about Linji, do a trade show. And you'll be out there talking to hundreds of people in one day. You'll surely get your rap down.
It's funny that you would mention that, Jean, because I do not consider myself a salesperson whatsoever. And it's a fear of mine almost to try to have to sell something, which is why coming into network marketing was not something I ever thought of myself doing, because I don't want to sell things and I don't want to sell somebody else's product. But with my own business on the side, I've learned that you don't have to sell things, you just have to tell a story. And that's what really intrigues people. So I just happened to be on the phone with my father yesterday, and I was asking him, he sold for Amway for years and was really good at it. And I asked him if he could please, get my name out there. He's really good at selling things and convincing people, and that's not something that I'm good at. And so I finished talking, and after I had talked to him about the products and stuff, and he said, Corinne, you don't know what you're talking about. He goes, you're really good at selling things. You just sold me. And I was blown away, because we don't have that kind of relationship, and it was interesting, because all I did was tell the story. I just started talking about what I've heard from other people and how they've helped me and how they could help him. And so when you talk about selling, it just reminded me about that. So that's all.
Great. Yeah, the story sells without selling. That's the best way to do it. Oh, thank you. Anybody else have anything else they want to share before we go on to our special guest tonight?
I do. This is Kathy Joe, and Pam Smith and I are going to a health fair on Saturday, and we're going to see if we can rustle up some interest in activity there in Rolla.
Nice. Yeah, they look around, because they're starting to come around as the weather gets nicer. You might find them, like I'm looking for ones that are like $50 a day, $100 for 2 days. And I sell the coffee and the tea. I don't give it away for free, and I actually make my money back. So I make about $100 for a whole weekend. So it's a break-even situation, but we get lots of customers, guaranteed to get lots of customers, and possible distributors. And it's a great way for new people to get their feet wet and talk Alfay. Cool.
Do you sell the coffee individually by the cup, pre-brewed?
Yeah, by the cup. Yeah, I make a big urn of tea that has like 30 cups in there, and then I have a hot water heater there, so I can give them 1 cup of coffee for $2 or a cup of tea for $2, and the net profit pays for the table.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because people always taste it, but I really want somebody wants to buy it, then I know they're more interested. I can actually enter into a conversation with them. And I've done this for the last couple of years, and it's been terrific. Again, it's how I got my feet wet at the New York Expo with like 20,000 people. I think I was talking to like 100 people a day. If you're afraid to talk about Alfay, just get out there and start talking, and you'll correct yourself. Then you'll auto-correct yourself like your phone. You just do autocorrect.
And people ask you questions, and then you learn more about Alfay through their questions, because you don't always have the answer, and you'll go back and find the answer so that you have it the next time you do a show.
Yeah.
Or an expo. I did 12 of them in 1 month.
Wow.
I did a lot of them. It's what you said is true. You definitely become comfortable once you start doing them.
Yeah, it's good, Denise. That's awesome. I think that's the record.
Yeah, Mary Alice Skinner here. So this all starts, grassroots, local. And what I'm also discovering is kind of octopusing ourselves out there into the community and seeing what free local events are also going on. And I come from a really artistic community. So volunteering at the International Film Festival, where they're taking donations. So I'm not yet quite where you are with charging the $2, but at least I'm starting to network market and meet folks who have similar minds, and perhaps then would want to come on, distribute, and maybe recruit with me. But that's kind of what I'm doing within the next couple of weeks. And it went from volunteering just with wanting to help with the local movement of movies to, hey, well, why would you not want to just bring some coffee along aside from your Skittles and chocolate bars?
Nice.
I got a really good groove on it, and people are really excited. So, and again, getting the Ling-G flowing through our blood so that they'll stay awake and not overdose on synthetic sugar during the movie.
That's good. That's really great. That's a great idea. And again, the sample or the coffee or the tea is just a conversation starter.
Yes, no doubt. So that's
a real conversation starter. Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
Good. Anybody else want to share? In breakthroughs, ideas, realizations? Okay. Going once, going twice, 3 times. Yes. Okay. I'm going to introduce Tom. Tom Gillette's been an Alfay distributor for a couple of years, Tom? Maybe
18 months.
18 months. And Tom has reached a lot of success in the work that he's done with Alfay, and he's a real fan of customers, acquiring customers. There's a real knack for that. In fact, I think he's the one guy in our group that has sold the most longevity kits, which are those $200 packs, and he sells them like candy bars. So that's a great talent to be able to do that. So Tom has acquired over 150 customers, which in your back office, you can see how many you stack up there, but he's got 150. And so I admire Tom. He's very dedicated to the mushrooms, very dedicated to Alfay, knows a lot about the product. And he's here tonight to talk to us about customer acquisition, how to work with customers, how to deal with them, how to acquire them, how to retain them, and what his methods are. So for someone who's that successful, I think he's going to share some really good stuff for us to pay attention to. So without further ado, Tom Gillette.
Yeah.
Take it away, Tom.
Well, thanks, Gene. I want to tell you how much Gene has been really important to me and my business, because Gene and I are workout buddies, and we talk on the phone almost every day, like 5 days a week, 6 days a week. We're talking at about 9:30 in the morning. And you may not know this about Gene, but Gene has done MLMs for a very long time, and he had an organization of over 1,000 distributors. Is that right, Gene? Like,
yeah,
1,200
people. 1,200 people.
1,200 people. Like he's actually done it. I haven't really done network marketing. I'm sort of I fluster around in it. But Gene has actually been really successful with Nani Juice that ran around, and so he actually built a sizable organization, and so he actually is a wealth of information about how to do network marketing that a lot of people don't know that Gene is actually pretty skilled. And I really value his viewpoint and his insight, especially, in these changing times as Alfay has gone through some changes. Gene has really validated and, given me some insight and support when I felt really down in the business. I have been a mushroom person for decades. I love fungi, and late at night I read scientific research on fungi. Like, that's what I do. I look at different species, and I collect them. I grow them in my backyard. I have a pretty good shiitake farm going now, and lion's mane, and it's just something that I really love. And long before I came to Alfay, I had been doing the Paul Stamets products. I had been doing planetary herbal products. I've been doing mushroom products before I found Alfay, and the Alfay products were just far and away superior to any of these American mycelium products. The effect is so much stronger. It's so much more pronounced. And so I get really excited. It's like And so, my suggestion is it's really about excitement.
我正好我客人在这，我让他也听一听。
Hey, okay. So, what I found is the thing is really to be excited. I mean, you can go pretty darn far with enthusiasm and excitement, and how to keep your enthusiasm up. And I think the thing to do is really just to connect with other distributors. So I really credit Jean with helping me stay enthusiastic every day, because by yourself you kind of split off and you get lost. So what we're doing here is really good. This online connection, and I don't think you actually have to know a lot about mushrooms to be successful. I mean, I'm pretty certain of it. Alfei has given us a lot of really great tools, and I just, one thing that I always recommend to people is to take high dosages of the mushrooms. I mean, I found that was a really important step in becoming an Alfei distributor. If you're doing just 1 or 2 capsules or 4 capsules, like, it's not really going to happen for you. Like, you're not going to get the experience to then communicate that experience to other people. It's a lot like yoga. If you do a fair amount of yoga, it's like it changes your life and you get the experience of it, and then you want to share it. It's the exact same experience for me. It's like, these mushrooms have changed my life dramatically. My blood sugar, my meditation practice. So the question Jody's asking, what is high dosages? Like 9, 12 a day. Now, you don't have to do that forever, but when you're starting off, my recommendation is do 9, do 12 a day. And, so the way they work is these polysaccharides, and they're mycopolysaccharides. They're different from other polysaccharides. So, for example, like rice has got polysaccharides, and potatoes, but mycopolysaccharides are very unique and special, and they bond to the cells of your body, and they work in many specific ways. They protect your cells. So you need to build that up, and it takes at least 2 months. And they continue to work for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. They continue to keep, creating this defensive shield that you have against disease and against the world. So that's one way that the polysaccharides are going to work for you, is this defensive shield that they create. And then the second one is that they nourish your cells. They actually nourish the health of your cells. They then work in a third way, in that they work when your cells replicate. Some cells replicate in a diseased pattern, and if those cells start to really multiply, we call that cancer, and we call that a number of chronic diseases. But what the mycopolysaccharides do is they do this process called apoptosis, where they actually kill the cells that are not replicating in a healthy manner. So they're truly remarkable. And that's just one dimension of what these remarkable fungi do for us, is the polysaccharide part. Then you have adenosine. Adenosine is in the lingxi, and it's in the cordyceps. Adenosine is a way that gives your body real energy and real power through the ATP cycle, ADP cycle. It really strengthens the kidneys. And if a person lives a very stressful life, if they've burn the candle at both ends, you're going to find these mushrooms just really support you, especially the Z cell. Oh my gosh. If you feel like you're really run down from the winter, or just exhausted from children, the Z cell has just been this incredible product. And it's only been out for, since September. So this is something that sets Alfé completely apart from any American company. So all the American companies, you just have to understand, they're all selling mycelia products. Mycelia products, if you look at a spectrograph, they're really missing a lot of the important dimensions that make these mushrooms so powerful. So they're missing the triterpenes, and they're missing some of the complex polysaccharides. So the mycelia products, if you look at the label of Planetary Herbals, of Paul Stamets, of all these different companies, they're all mycelia products. So what are mycelia products? Well, they're grown in a vat in about 3 days. They can grow them organically, very cheaply, very quickly. And then what they do is they sell you a product that has very limited ability to do what the Alfé products do. Alfé does the hard work, and they grow the mushrooms at high altitude in a remote area of China. In the Changbai Mountains is where the Lingxi plantations are grown. And they're tested for purity and potency. They're rigorously, Alfé is just remarkable in its integrity as far as everything I have found. So these products are the highest quality. One of the statements of the chairman, Hui Chen, is that we will pay any price to have the highest quality products. It doesn't matter. We want to be the number one in this field. And there's nothing that, I have ever found. I found the chairman to be absolutely a man true to his word. And so Alfé has created the most extraordinary product line. Truly, like you don't know how, amazing these products are. And each one has a different personality. I do focus on the longevity kit, and that has been a real key to success. And the way I do it is I create a context for a person's experience. I said, okay, if you really want to try these mushroom products, you're going to have to do it for 2 months. 1 bottle is not enough. It's like, well, I don't have enough money for 1 bottle. It's like, well, I am reluctant to sell you 1 bottle because you're not really going to get there. If you do a longevity kit, 3 bottles and a box of tea, it's going to build up in your body to such an extent that you're going to know by your own experience, and you don't have to listen to me. You're going to know by your own experience how powerful these products are. And so that's why I always focus on the longevity kits. So I don't know if you know what the longevity kits are. It's 3 bottles and a box of tea. And there is the stress kit, and that is balance, calm, and one of the kidney formulas, men or the women's formula. And that works for a lot of folks. Balance and calm, they're just mainstays of the product line. The next one is the immunity. So that's balance and gut and lung. And the lung formula, Nourish, is the one that tends to make people really happy. So if people have low mood, if they're depressed, Nourish is just this awesome formula. And so I steer people to those 2 choices. And one of the mistakes that I made was to give people too many choices. Well, there's balance, and there's calm, and there's liver, and there's heart, and there's gut, and this long list of things. And when you give people too many choices, they wind up with a negative experience, and they wind up not buying. So you always give people 2 choices: stress, immunity. You choose. And that kind of works. Or if I'm really pushed against it and they only are going to buy one, it's balance or it's calm. Which do you want? Or coffee or tea. Which do you want? So give people 2 choices. Don't give them 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 choices, 10 choices. That has been a very successful technique for how to acquire customers. You give people, you figure out who you're talking to. Is this person, do they have $200 for a longevity kit? So the longevity kit, the way I frame it, 45 cents a capsule, 25 cents for a cup of tea. It's a 2-month supply, $100 a month. And I say it like that. It's like, can you do $100 a month? And for that, for many people, that is pretty much, that's pretty doable. Okay, I can do $100 a month to give these a fair trial. 2 months. Got it. That technique works pretty well. How you frame it, and you want to give them the per unit cost. One of the big mistakes I made was saying, well, it's $69 a bottle on auto ship. And people go, 69? That sounds like a lot of money to me. It's like, well, you have to understand, it's 120 capsules. If you buy it in the longevity kit, it's actually 45 cents a capsule. If you frame it in the terms of per unit cost, it sounds reasonable. Now, how does Alfé stack up with Paul Stamitz's line? Well, guess what? Paul Stamitz's mycelia products come in at around 44 cents a capsule. That's the same as our longevity kits at 45 cents a capsule. So Alfé, who has the real fruiting body, 45 cents a capsule. Paul Stamets, which has the mycelia products, 44 cents a capsule. Like, figure it out. Like, you definitely want the Alfé products, and people say, oh, well, I went online and I found this stuff and it was so cheap. It said $15. Yeah, well, okay, let's look at that. So it's $15, but it's only 30 capsules and it's mycelia. It's like, you're not doing yourself any favor. First of all, in 30 capsules, you're not going to have the experience of what the mushrooms can do for you. Second of all, you're paying the same price, but it's a lower quality product. And, and so that has been one of the downfalls is people go on Amazon and they see these cheap products and they don't understand the difference between what they're comparing. They're thinking they're comparing apples to apples, but it's apples to oranges. It's a completely different thing. So, getting lots of customers. For me, it has really been around having lots of PBRs and going to lots of events and getting myself out there. I have not had really good success with emails. I've tried it, and, I hope that, it works for some folks, but I have not had a lot of success with emails. And I'm not really sure why. I'm not sure whether it's the script. Maybe I've done too much, spoken too much. But for me, that has not been a very successful way. I do much better when I'm talking to people, when I'm out there, and I do. I have samples all the time with me. I have samples in my car. And one of the things that I'm famous for, hold on. This. So this is the pump pot.
Yay, I love pump pots.
So I put 2 tea bags in this. So that's what, $2.60, and I'll get 12 cups out of this. And I'll have it in my car. I'll have it at yoga classes. I'll travel around. And the whole idea with the pump pot is that people try the tea right away, and I close right away. I'm really bad at following up. It's probably the weakest part of my business. I try to follow up. I know I should do better at it. But you know what? Every time I call somebody, what do you get? You get their machine, and you leave a message. Hi, this is Tom calling. How did you like the samples I gave you? So you can give out lots and lots of samples and spend lots of money and get nowhere. That has been one of my experiences, that you give out samples and people say, oh yeah, it's still in the car. I don't know what happened to it. I lost it. It's like, oh, I put 1 cup of water with the tea bag and it was so bitter. It's like, ew, it's disgusting. It's like, it's not how you do it. You know that you don't do 1 cup of water in a tea bag. You do 6 cups of water, and then it tastes really good. So I have it pre-made, and the whole idea is I give it to the people, and then I close then and there, and I move on. So if you have to wait a couple of days, follow up, and then try to close when the inspiration is gone, it's like, I've done it, not so successful. What you want to do is you want to sample, close, immediately move on. Boom. That's how you get a lot of customers. That's really it. So this goes around with me all the time, and I have sold to the most amazing people. So I was walking my dogs one day, and we found this drone in the park. Seriously, this helicopter with the camera on it, and it said, if found, please call this number, reward. I say, okay, great. So I call the number, and he says, yeah, I live down the street. So I drove it over to him, and he gave me $25 as a reward for returning his drone. And guess what? I sold him a box of tea as well. I had this in the car. I had my cups. I had the whole little deal. It's like, cool. I've sold to a guy who sold carpet to me, to a plumber, to an electrician. Like, everybody drinks coffee and tea. Everybody, absolutely everybody. And so it's like, would you like to try a healthier version of coffee or tea? So that's the big question. Would you like to try a healthier version of coffee or tea? Tastes really good. And they say, oh, I love my coffee. I can't live without my coffee. And then you whip out this thing and they go, oh, no. You don't understand. I am a coffee connoisseur. I only grind my beans and I smell the rich aromas and I get them free. Okay, great. So you don't want to do this. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to give you balance. We're going to give you 1 capsule of balance, and we're going to put it in your special coffee to balance your coffee so you don't get the jitters and you don't get coffee crash. And that kind of works. So 60 cents, travels really well, organic coffee, cordyceps, reishi, amazing product. If people are not interested in adding water, and really, this is all we drink now. This is an amazing coffee. This is all we drink. But if people have this preconceived idea that you have to grind the beans and the whole thing, well, you just add 1 capsule of balance. And it's like, that's the way you get your other coffee customers. So you don't lose a coffee customer because they think adding water is not the real deal. Adding water is an amazing way of having your coffee every morning. And I'm probably overdo the coffee. I probably have about 2 or 3 every day. So anyway, those are some of the ideas of how I get a lot of customers, and retaining customers. Oh boy, that's a hard one. Because if you sell a longevity kit, what you're doing is you're selling 2 months supply. So what I have to do is I have to call the person. I have to check up on them. And so what do you do with a longevity kit? Well, you take 1 capsule of each of the formulas in the morning, 1 in the afternoon or evening. And then you have the tea as well. The tea is an important part of the longevity kit in my viewpoint. Like, you want to build up the polysaccharides. You also want to alkalinize the body with the tea. So if you have a person who's done a longevity kit, well, then they're actually going to not get product the next month. Do you understand it? Unless, of course, they're sharing it with their friend or their spouse or their significant other. That is a very successful way. Well, why don't you, Bob and Jane, both do the product? That works. Then you can get a longevity kit going every month on auto ship. So what I do is I take people on auto ship and I take them off auto ship, and I take them on auto ship and I take them off auto ship. And it drives me a little bit crazy, to tell you the truth. And I think I drive Sandro crazy. The poor guy. It's like, Sandro, can you please take so-and-so off auto ship? So I don't know if you know the customer service people, but Sandro and Eddie, these guys are the greatest. The Gabby and Soraya. I mean, I don't know if you've had much experience, but they are just wonderful to work with. They're delightful human beings. And, I think Alfei is so lucky to have them. So now the new strategy is Buyers Club. So I want to credit my dear friend Jean with coming up with this. So it's like Sam's Club. It's like BJ Wholesalers. It's like $35. You never have to worry about auto ship. And if you have somebody who's been going on auto ship, they go off auto ship, they get an order they don't want, it's such a problem. I mean, I have lost customers who get really, really angry because I screwed up and they got another bottle or a box of something and they didn't order it, and now they don't want to talk to me ever again. I can't tell you how many times I've screwed up in doing this business. Far more than anybody else, I'm sure. So what I like to now do is the Buyers Club. So for $35, you always get the distributor price, and you just sent me to Mexico, and you're just helping me with the bonus mania. And it really does a lot of really great things for all of us as distributors. So that's actually how I've been working right now. And then you might see on Hope for the Future some of the ways to get somebody to a 5% distributorship, because that's really quite desirable to get them into the 5% zone. Not just doing $35 in a box of coffee, which is great, mind you, but to actually try and get them up and running. So there's a bunch of ways to get somebody to 5%. You can do the standard method, which is $284. That's the distributor kit, balance coffee, tea, 2 coffees, and then a whole lot of printed material. But what I prefer to do is I try to get people more product, and then I have all kinds of printed stuff that I can give them. So I've been working with the longevity kit plus 1 bottle of kidney formula. That will get you to $175 plus $35 distributor. And then I've also been doing the daily pack. Now this costs a little bit more, but they get so much more product. So I feel like it's worthwhile to try to steer people towards that. One more thought about customers, getting customers, is that I feel like it's best to tell people what to do rather than give people a lot of choices, which leaves them wondering, because they don't know mushrooms from, muesli. Like, well, what should I do? Well, I think you should do the stress pack. I think you should do the immunity pack. I think you should do the liver, the weight loss pack. I've sort of renamed that again. I've been renaming it the detox pack. Everyone's interested in detox. Spring detox, Okay, so you get liver, you get gut, and you get balance. That's a great pack. So instead of calling it weight loss, I've been switching the language to the detox pack. It's been a really successful sales technique, renaming that. And so after talking to a person, I tell them what to get. I think this is good for you. And they say, oh, that's too much money. Okay, get a box of tea then. So I think a lot of people do really well with tea alone. And so instead of like losing the sale entirely, I'll steer them just to a box of tea. So anyway, I hope some of these ideas are helpful, and wanted to kind of open it up to questions. So there's like 15 minutes. Do people have any questions about anything I've been offering here, or add-ons, or?
M. Skinner had a couple of questions. You want to come on? Okay, her first question is it necessary to drink the tea along with the supplement to get the best result from the product?
I would say yes.
I'd say yes, too.
Yeah, you're correct. When I continued to listen to you, you were speaking about the polysaccharides. So it's best to drink the tea with the supplement to get that in our body. So you answered it.
It's a great combination. I mean, we've had people have like really miraculous results just drinking the tea alone, but they have to drink 4 cups a day. And a number of people in my group have done that, and their customers. And I mean, I'm hearing stories, migraine headaches disappear, PMS disappear, hot flashes gone, drinking the 4 cups a day, which is pretty much what I drink. I drink like 4 cups of tea a day. And I think it does great stuff. I mean, that's like Tom said, if they can't afford anything else, get that tea and drink 4 cups a day. There's a good chance you'll feel something. Second question, she said, for the amount to take, Tom, should they follow the suggestion on the label?
If they've done 1 bottle, I would say try 6. Try 6 balance. That's a good number. If they've done a longevity kit, do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and get to 6 that way. If they're like a bigger person, maybe 9. So there are people who are very sensitive, and 4 will give them a very strong experience, but they tend to be more in the minority. And a lot of people, if they're in the 1 and 2 range, nothing's going to happen. They're just not going to get over the hump to really feel like, oh my gosh, I get why everyone's so excited about these mushrooms. These are like amazing. They're just not going to get there. So I always context it in that way, like give it a fair trial. 2 months. That's what it's going to take.
Yeah. Tom, what about following the suggestions that are on the labels on the bottles? Are those suggestions, like, I know at the balance they take 3 times a day on the balance alone. Do you think that those label suggestions are any good?
Yeah, I do. I think that's pretty good. We had one distributor, and I sold him a longevity kit, and he read the labels, and it said 3, 3, and 3. Now, he had 3 bottles, so he wound up taking 27 capsules a day. And we had to peel him off the ceiling on day 6. But the thing is that he really broke through like a lifelong depression, like seriously, struggling with depression. And he took like this heroic, super high dose. And, it's like, I cannot believe the power of these mushrooms. You gotta back off, dude. You gotta back off. Like, go back to 6, like, 27 is way too much. And, and it's not really all that good to do 27, but for a short period, it really got him in the business, and he really understood the product. But 6, 9, I think that's a great area to be in.
Yeah. Got a question, Tom. is the Z cell by itself potent enough to feel?
Well, that's a really, really good question. So this is from Rupali, my old yoga friend, way back from 2 decades ago. Hi, Rupali. Yeah, I mean, the Z cell is really powerful, and it's been explained as being the ambulance driver. So when there's a car wreck, when you're really run down, you're burning the midnight oil, burning the candle at both ends, Z cell seems to be very powerful and very supportive. I have two of my longest customers, and they love it. They're also extremely high net worth customers, so the cost is totally irrelevant. That every dose is $4.50 or $5, so they don't really care about the price. They just love how it creates this uplifting feeling for them. So I found that I started to detox in kind of a big way when I did 5 Z cell in a 24-hour period. That's too much in my mind for me. But I do know that people in the company have said, like, if a person has a cancer or they have a very serious issue, to think about doing 3 or 4 a day for a period of time, to see if it creates a shift in their numbers. I think there's lots of ways to build up the mushroom products in your body. The cheapest way is the coffee. It's really inexpensive. It's a low-cost way to really get the whole thing started. The capsules are solid. Like, I don't think you'll ever give up these formulas for just Z cell alone. These formulas have got so many different personalities and so many different uses. Like the heart formula is just, I think of the heart formula as like a yoga class. Like, your heart opens and you feel so in love and so connected with everyone in the world. And then liver is just this beautiful thing for your skin and for your, it's just an amazing product. And then Nourish is like a completely different product. It's sort of this happy product. Gut formula. I think gut formula is sort of an unsung hero, but really helpful for establishing good flora in your gut. The effect of gut formula for me has never been dramatic, but I think it's a very important and useful part of the formulas. What are we missing here? Kidney.
I love kidney. My blood work has become amazing taking the kidney.
Yeah, kidney is something else. And the men and the women's kidney are so different from each other. They're completely different. I took the women's kidney on the advice of an energy worker and muscle tester. And she told me to not do any of the other products, to only do kidney. And the women's kidney just made me incredibly happy. And I lost all interest in sex whatsoever, which is a very interesting thing for me. So I stopped taking that. And the men's kidney, though, it makes me too testosterone-y. And so, but I know it's a really good formula for me, so I just do 1 capsule of men's kidney. And you'll notice that men's kidney is always paired with what? That's right. Calm and balance. Calm and gut will be a good combination for the men's kidney. I'm not sure about taking men's kidney all by itself, taking 6 to 9 capsules a day. I don't know about that one. So learning about these products and having your own experiences is I think an important part of this
Tom, we got
being able to talk about them successfully.
another question here from Rupali. She said, what language do you use to close when you offer the tea to them in person? How do you close them? When you give them the tea, they try it, the cup is there. How do you get that from that sample to closing the deal?
Closing, well, that's an art, isn't it? And I always prefer the direct method. It's like, okay, so let's get you a box of tea now. Like, that's how I do it. Like, okay, so you like the tea? Okay, so I'll get you a box right now. I mean, that's kind of how I do it. It's like, I sort of tell people, like, oh, you're going to really love this stuff. And as opposed to putting it on them and letting them decide, no, I tell them what to do. I mean, it kind of works more often than it doesn't, to tell you the truth.
Right.
Yeah, so I carry it with me? Yeah. No, I don't. No, I want people to do it online. I don't carry around lots of products. I mean, I carry around samples, but I definitely want people to be in the database, in the customer. So, every quarter, Alfei gives out these really generous customer bonuses. So you want people as customers. You don't want to just buy the product yourself and sell it retail. I mean, I think that's just, I think that's a crummy way of doing it. I really think you want them in the customer base, so you get the customer bonuses. And now, so of the 150 customers that I've signed up, I was going to look up the number, Gene, but I didn't actually look up the number. I think about 20 of them are distributors now. So that's pretty good. So if, they try out the products, they're on the products for a little while, and then, in 2 months, I mean, one of my best guys was on it for almost a year, and then he said, I've got to do this. I've got to be a distributor of this. I'm telling all my friends about it. I should put them into, my website and my database and get free products. Like,
yeah, that's a little more than 1 in 10. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, well, one more question here. Where did you tend to learn the most about the mushrooms and how they help the most? How did you learn about that, Tom? From Jody, asked that question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Alfei products are unique. They're formulations, and they cannot be copied. The amounts of what mushroom and what herb is in the formulas is a proprietary secret, and this is true of all herbal formulas. It's a proprietary blend. You'll see that on all of them. And so the way to really know these products is to use them yourself. I mean, I think that's really it. Having your own felt experience of them. And so what I did was I kind of marched through the products one at a time, doing them singly at first and experiencing them. And now I blend them, so my typical day will be 2 balance in the morning, and then I'll add on, right now I'm adding on a liver and a gut. And so I might have 5 or 6 in the morning and then 5 or 6 at night, sort of what I'm doing right now. And then at nighttime, I'm switching more towards calm and liver and maybe 1 kidney in there and a gut. So, but that's where I'm at now. When I was learning about these formulas, I was doing them by themselves to get a real felt experience of their character and their personality, and what they could do for me. Now the effects are going to be different for different people, but these are generalizations, of course.
Tom, one more question. Do you walk around and carry the form with you so people can fill it out and then you put them online, or do you just give them the website and they go to the website and try to get it themselves?
Sending people to the website is kind of a disaster.
Yep.
I don't recommend it. I do it, but I don't have a lot of success. I think maybe out of all those people, 2 people actually went to the website, figured it out, and ordered. But I've sent, 50 people to the website. They're all lost. They can't figure it out. They don't know what to do. It's too confusing. They get timed out. And so I really don't want people to go to the website. I do it. I do customer service with them. I say, okay, let me walk you through this. Please. It's no problem whatsoever. I want to make sure that you get the order in and that you get your product and things get rolling. So I basically walk every single person through the website and order with them, order for them, and absolutely. So I just see it as part of customer service. Yeah.
Great. Any other questions here, guys? We're coming to the close of the hour here. One more question for Tom. Anybody have anything they want to say?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering if you're signing people up online together, like from a telephone you're carrying?
Yes.
Or a tablet or something? Okay.
Yeah. On the phone, laptop. Yeah.
Okay.
Or at my desk. Yeah.
Yeah, Kathy, what I do is I carry forms with me, the piece of paper, and I just have them fill out the form, and then I take the form home and put it in at home, like that. That's exactly the form. Tom, put that up there.
Yeah, if you don't have this form, you can find it in your back office. I have it in all of my cars. I have samples. I have this form.
Yeah.
The challenge is the bottom part, writing down all the credit card information. If you don't know the person that well, they sometimes really react to it, and it's like, no, I don't want to do that. So I try to have my laptop with me and do the order right then and there. That's been much more successful. Now, when I do PBRs, though, you have to have these. It's the only way to do it because you have 4 or 5 people signing up all at the same time. So I will typically have 3-4 clipboards with customer order forms, and people will be filling it out. And then I promise and I assure them that I will destroy their credit card information once the order goes in. And, people usually at that point say, okay.
Hey, what's good about that form is the credit card information just goes along the bottom. Take a pair of scissors, cut it off. After the sale's in, tear it up, throw it away. You tell people you'll tear it up. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's see here if we got anything else. Does Alfie save the credit card information for the next time? No. No. When it goes through, my experience is reordering with customers is that the credit card information has to be re-entered. Is that right? Unless they're on auto ship. I think that's right, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alfie destroys it. Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up, guys. Really very informative tonight. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Tom. You did a great job. And
hey, thanks for letting me monologue endlessly here. I hope it was helpful for you.
Yeah, no, it's really great information. This is as a result of having experience, out there working with lots and hundreds of people, talking to people, trying the product on yourself, trying each bottle separately, which is what I did, listening to people's stories, hearing what they say, and that's how you get the experience. So anyway, thanks everybody for coming on. And the next one will be on Sunday night. Anton is returning to Sunday night, 9 o'clock. There'll be a presentation like this on Sunday night at 9 and Wednesday night at 9 on the 607 Zoom number. And Anton will have special guests, and it's a great way to stay connected with one another and a great way to get educated and be inspired and hear the great stories that people have. So, in any case, have a good night, everybody. Thanks, Tom. You were awesome.
All right. Thank you, Gene.
Let's
Thank
have
you,
a round
everybody.
of applause for Tom, everybody.
Woo, yay!
Thanks, Tom.
So.
Good job, Tom.
He could go on for 2 hours. I know he could. Just get into the polysaccharides. It'll be another 2 hours. True? Okay, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks.